So today I just saw Creed 3, which actually has Michael B. Jordan returns as Adonis Creed, the son of Apollo Creed. But this also debuts his royal de- debut as director of the third movie, in which is also the first movie that doesn't have Sylvester Stallone as Rocky in it. But we see him return as Adonis, Tessa Thompson as Bianca, and also joining is Jonathan Majors as Damian, who plays Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. But this movie actually reveals more than the first two Rocky movies, where Adonis facing Victor Cree, but he's facing much more serious battle because this is far more personal. As Adonis and Damian was once childhood friends during prison, which he's now gonna ruin his life and his career that he has built. So here is the movie. So the movie begins in the past, 2002, in Los Angeles, where young Adonis Creed has snuck out of his home with his best friend, who is the Golden Gloves champion, Damian Anderson, who goes by the boxer name Diamond Dane, which he came with him to watch him go to a underground boxing match to see him fight, where he battled his opponent and actually won by knockout, in which we see how he told Damien after his victory that his aspiration to becoming a professional and being a world tour. Well, we knew how they actually talk about their dreams and not about family. We see during a detour at a liquor store, we see Donnie attack a man named Leon who brutally keep attacking him, saying that he's not weak. But in 2017, we see Donnie won and fight his rematch against Pretty Ricky Collin, who's actually released after his prison sentence, who actually surprised his role by Tony Bellew, who actually won and now work his way to be a contender in a championship match, by which he actually retires from boxing and focus on his family, his wife Bianca, by Tessa Thompson, and their daughter Amara, which we see how 3 years have passed as he opens and runs a boxing academy with his coach Tony Little Dukes Evers Jr. and promoting his protege, world champion Felix Le Guerrero Chavez, which he wanted to get a match with Victor Drago, who became a contender for him, by which they eventually knew that they have seen what he's capable of, by which we see Bianca has gone to performing to become a successful producer, in which we see how they watch over Donnie's adoptive mother and Cree's widow, Marianne, whose health is now declining, and Amara, who wants to become a boxer like Donnie, who got into trouble at school for theft, in which she actually fight a bully who tore up her paper, which they actually have an argument of what a mother should do, by which we see Damian, who's played by Jonathan Majors, who previously is Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man the Wasp: Quantumania, which he reconnected with Donnie, who got out of prison but wore an ankle monitor bracelet, who would catch up with him after he wanted to share his passion to continue boxing again, which Donnie advised him to his gym to spar Jarvis, but Tony only loaded denies this idea, knowing that how it's not a good idea to actually have Damian to be in the gym, but his aggressive style, who actually happens in a sparring match, didn't actually work out with Jarvis and Duke, as they knew how they don't want him fighting with others, which Donnie invites him to his house, where they actually meet his family, knowing of what they actually did over the time they spent in a group home. But we see how they knew what they wanted to do, which he wanted to win a title shot against Chavez. But at the party for Bianca's labor race, we see how Damian told Bianca about Leon, who actually fought John. But just before, we see Drago being attacked by an unknown assailant, which his injuries caused him to lose his shot against Chavez. But Donnie suggests that Damian will be an opponent for him, knowing that patient and underdog, much like how Rocky fought in his title shot. But Chavez actually agrees to let Damian fight him, which we see at the fight. We saw how Damian would play dirty, but he knocked out Chavez, winning the title and sending him to the hospital, knowing how World Dude blames Donnie for actually having an underdog win the battle, in which we see Donnie became more easy as he visits Marianne, who showed him the letter that Damian wrote to him while he's in prison, but she kept it from him, believing that he was a bad influence, which he blames her for everything that happens. But he read the letter but showing a photo of the inmate, who we realized was the one who assaulted Drago. But we knew that he realized who was responsible for this attack. As Damian as celebrating his victory, we see Donnie confronting him about the attack, knowing how he told him that he actually manipulated their encounters to set him up as the champion. But Donnie won't have that, as he told him to get his equipment and leave the gym. But he won't allow that to happen, which he gave him a black eye, knowing how he has gotten his newfound fame as the champion, as he said that he doesn't need Donnie anymore. Now, upset, we see Donnie and Bianca have an argument over what Bianca said about Leon, which now he actually doesn't want to talk about it. But as soon as he got a phone call from his mother, it was Bianca saying that Marianne has suffered a stroke. As she's laying there helpless on the bed, Donnie apologized for whatever happened, which she didn't blame him, which she actually died succumbing from her illness, in which after the funeral we see how Donnie apologized to Bianca about the argument, which he reveals to him the truth about Leon, who actually is an abusive caregiver at the group home, which we see how he was abused as a child by Leon before he was adopted by Marianne, in which we see Leon actually attack him, which of course the brawl actually happens. That is why Damian pulls out a gun on them. When the police arrive, we see Donnie run, but Damian was arrested. So now he actually was able to attempt to block all the memories so he won't contact him out of shame and guilt, knowing that he won't set out to, we won't stop defaming him, but we knew how there is another way that Donnie can stop Damian and bring him down, in which he decided to call him out and challenge him to a match coming out of retirement, as which he accepted. So he actually trained with Duke and Drago, who was recovering from his injuries. As he trains, which is actually inspired by his love of anime, we see how Donnie now got a newfound goal to stop Damian and destroying his reputation, which we see at the Battle of Los Angeles in Dodger Stadium. We see Donnie and Damian battle it out, knowing how they are evenly matched. But we see how in the last round, Damian used Duke's advice to let go of that fear and let go of that guilt that had been eating at him, to take an advantage of Damian's drained energy, which he actually did, by which during the match he was actually hurt, knowing how he got back up on his feet to deliver a knockout on Damian to win the championship and the match altogether, in which at the aftermath of the match they both reconciled to them with each other, admitting that it's not their fault that one's in prison and one who didn't stick up to his friend. As they become friends again, we see how all of this actually happens, in which we see Donnie joining Bianca and Amara in an empty arena where in the ring she actually pretends to spar with her father. As Damian in the last scene look at the ring and look at the memory of Creed and Rocky, who didn't actually there, one last time. Now, I do give props to Michael B. Jordan on his debut as director, which he did an amazing job. But we see how we see two Marvel characters, Kang the Conqueror and Killmonger, actually had their battle in the boxing ring. But this is more than any match and revenge. This is very personal to Donnie. So we see how all of this actually helps. But the movie, it was incredible and it actually is amazing. By which we love how this will actually mean something, in which this is my first time doing a Creed movie in a Rocky movie review that I did. So I hope you guys enjoyed the movie as everyone else has. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment what you think about the movie. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and my Facebook page and Twitch. Until then, this is Anime Guy 100 here saying signing out. Laters and be safe.